Hey everyone, so I've finished this book. I try to do a chapter of reading every day, doesn't matter what it is, or even a few pages. If it's not John Maxwell, it's something else. But I have lots of books that I had bought and kept, so it's a good time to read them since I'm not working. And today's chapter, this last chapter, was from career to calling. So basically, we all make a contribution in our work, in our lives, wherever we are. And John Maxwell is basically telling us that we can think about it in different ways. So you can think about doing a job. So you're there to do a job, and at the end of that job, you get a paycheck. And that's helping to build up somebody else's vision, somebody else's organization. And when you're doing that job, if you're like me, if you're keeping your faith at the heart of it, you're also doing it unto the Lord. You're not just there to collect a paycheck. And then you're building your career. So you can have different jobs, but you are building a career. So you're taking on different jobs to build a career in administration or engineering or in the church or in music. You're building a career in what you're doing. And then you have your calling. Your calling is when you're focusing on others, when you're helping to build up something that you have decided to do. But sometimes it's something chosen for you. It's something God opens the path for you for. And it's not necessarily something that you choose, because in life, sometimes we try to go one route and that route doesn't work. Like for me, I wanted to be in music. That didn't happen for me. And I wanted to be able to teach theology and to mentor students and to equip them and help them in the church or in a university setting. That didn't happen for me. So I do jobs. I do little jobs here and there wherever I can get the work to pay my bills. And part of that is the discrimination. Part of that is you can have the right connections, but they may not necessarily want you on your team. They may want you, their team, they may want you on their team to build their kingdom, but not to partner with them. Or they may want you on the team in a specific role that you don't want to be in forever. So there's a difference between calling and building a career or having a job. You also need to look at how you integrate it into your life. For us, when we are living out our values, we're integrating them into our life. It's not like you're doing one thing at home and you're doing another thing at work. Your values are part of who you are, and you don't separate them. You have to take them with you. They don't leave you. Your values don't leave you. Like Elvis Presley says, you leave your fingerprints all over whatever you do. And those fingerprints are your values. When you look at your calling, it's something that you feel compelled to do. It's something you feel you must do. Like your life is not complete if you're not doing this. And it's measured by significance. In your career, you can choose something and things change. So I chose to become an executive assistant, but things change. So I had to go on to do project coordination and analysis and do other things. I didn't stay in that career for my whole life. When you choose your career, it can be separated from your best life. What is good for your best life may not always work with your career. And you can take it or leave it. It's something that you can do. It's not something that like you're compelled to do. You don't feel like, if I don't do this, my life is not going to be complete. And it's measured by success, not by significance. So you're either climbing the career ladder, earning more. People make their careers, and that career becomes everything to them. But your calling is different. Your calling is something deeper, and it's something more meaningful. And he gives the example of a story in here of a man who's laying a slab, and somebody meets them and asks them, what are you doing? And he says, oh, I'm just laying a slab. I'm building this house. And then he meets somebody else and he asks him, what are you doing? And he gets an answer, well, this is my job. I was told to do this, so this is what I'm doing. And then he meets the third person and he asks him, what are you doing? And obviously I'm paraphrasing. You can get the book and read it. And he says, I'm building a cathedral, and this is my contribution towards the cathedral. So it depends on how we think about our calling, how we think about what we are contributing in our communities, in our lives. And it's people are doing the same work, but they're using it or they're viewing it very, very differently. So when we think about our calling, we think about what is it that is at the deepest level of us that is going to, when we die or when we look back on our life, we're going to feel that it was worth it or it wasn't worth it. Like, why did I do all this? So there's some questions that he provides, which you can think about if you're interested in this. If you could do one thing for the rest of your life, even if you never got paid for it, what would you do? What do people often ask for your help with? What experiences have you had that you desire to help others with? What lights you up? What do you love learning about? What could you talk about for hours and hours? What activities are you always motivated to do, self-motivated to do? What can you do to make a positive difference in the lives of others? What would you like to do that would live beyond you? And your calling often taps into not just one, but two or three of these, but all of them. So a calling is very different. A calling brings out our passion, and people can see that we are passionate about it, that we like doing it, that we enjoy it. And we can look at what experiences inform that passion. We can look at how well it fits into our overall life goals or life plan. And I'm not going to go into every single point or every detail of the book. I'm just highlighting the things that touched me and that I think are important. And they go beyond ourselves. So it goes from serving beyond ourselves. It goes at looking at things from the bigger perspective and I focus on the little things I have to do in each day. But when you add those little things up, then you see a bigger picture, you see a bigger story to my life. And hopefully you see my faith at the heart of what I'm doing and how I live out those values in my own life. And if you don't, then obviously I'm doing something wrong. But there's different points that he brings in this book, because your calling is bigger than you. Your calling will give you a sense of purpose. It will help you on your journey to make your decisions, to navigate, and it will bring out your creativity. It will bring out your inspiration. It gives you a sense of possibilities. Even in very dire situations, it gives you a sense of hope. It gives you a sense of how you can use your talents to try to help to make things better, and a sense of fulfillment. And I think these questions are very poignant that he gives here, and you can ask them, what do I sing about? What fills my heart? What do I cry about? What breaks my heart? What do I dream about? What lifts my heart? And if you think about those and you can answer those for what it is in your life, you'll see where your calling is. You'll see where it is that you found your purpose, I would say, in life. and you'd found what makes you come alive, what makes you an inspiration to other people, and what it is that wakes you up in the morning. Sometimes we reach a fork in the road and we're still figuring out where to go next. And that happens all the time. It happens when new technologies come out. It happens when the world changes around us. It happens when there are major wars taking place in the world. And that's perfectly fine. We figure it out as we go because we have our values and we have our foundation strong. So it's important to remember that. And I think that story is it's so beautiful. The old story about a passerby going past somebody building in the Middle Ages and a craftsman working and asking him, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Oh, I'm laying stones." And then the passerby continues on his way and he asks the next craftsman, the second one, "What are you doing?" And he'll say, "Oh, I'm building a wall." And then the passerby reaches the building site where he spots a third person working. And the other two, like the other two, he's a stonemason, and he says, "What are you doing?" And he says, "I'm building a magnificent cathedral." So that's how I view my work. When my work is gone, I get very upset because I don't have anything to do. I am not doing anything that is life-giving for me. I'm sitting at home. And yeah, I can exercise, I can read, I can do other things. But for me, that is not fulfilling. It's not fulfilling work. And it's not something that I'm content with. I don't like staying at home. I don't like just being in the house and cooking and baking and going for walks and coming home. I don't enjoy that. And that's also work, and it's important work, but I don't like it. And you can see how sick I'm getting staying at home. So there has to be a balance between over too much pressure and complete just sitting at home. At least for me, that's what I think. And if I had to answer those questions, those 3 questions that John Maxwell had put there, the first one, what do I sing about? What fills my heart? What do I cry about? What breaks my heart? What do I dream about? What lifts my heart? It would be my music and my passion for Africa. And I probably die in this country, but sometimes that's the way life works out. So, yeah, I give my best to Canada. I do everything I can to help build up this country. But if I had a choice, if somebody gave me a choice and said, like, if you had to live your life over, would you still choose to be born in Africa, in Zimbabwe? And I would say yes, I would still choose. Even after everything that happened, I would still choose to be born in Zimbabwe and use my music. Because here I don't get any opportunities to use my music. So I record with the artists and I sing and I put it on the YouTube. But I don't. And if you have gifts and you have talents and you're not given opportunities to use them, those talents die with you. So I look for other ways. Now I'm doing this John Maxwell. I'm using it as a way to teach. But it's not the same as being in a university setting or a college setting and a Catholic college setting or school and teaching and doing it. It's very different. So we have to find new avenues and we have to look for different ways to do it. And the Jesuits have never brought me into anything. It's like once I graduated. So they're of no help at all. They haven't helped me with anything. So, and once Wilma died, once Wilma passed away from Regis College, it wasn't the same. So if they have talented people, they have good people, they have people that want to work with them, and they don't use you, then you move on. You find other avenues. You find other ways and other things to do. I'm not a nun, and I'm not a priest. There are women priests in Christian communities. but I'm neither of those. So this is the way I use my gifts and talents, and this is the way that I do it. And that was one of the reasons I got involved with Initiatives for Africa, because I always hoped that, yeah, things are going to change and I'll be able to go back and I'll be able to have my life there. But it didn't work out that way. I even looked at the One campaign. I even applied to jobs with them, but it didn't work out that way. So I've moved on, and I'm waiting for that next opportunity, that next break, that next new thing that's coming. And I'm letting go of the old. I'm letting go of the things I did in the past, and it gets boring after 7 years, 8 years, because the reality is that you're never going to get to net zero emissions. You're never going to cure malaria completely. You're never going to eradicate polio completely. We're all contributing towards saving lives. That's the bigger goal when we do that kind of work. But you're never going to get to zero, because diseases change, diseases evolve. Just like we change and our bodies change, and when we eat genetic foods, that becomes part of our body. So in a way, we all like X-Men because those foods and whatever we're eating, it's changing us. We have plastics in our bodies. We have different foods that are affecting us and how we are now. And you can't go back and change it. So because the cost of them putting our foods and our drinks and everything into bottles, the cost was higher, so they started selling things in plastic. So that's the way it goes. And it's not all doom and gloom. It's not the end of the world. There'll always be other things to help with, whether it's in Canada or Africa or wherever. There's always people that you can help. There's always people that you can reach out to. There's always things available that you can do. But that's the way it goes. But yeah, that was my passion. And I think it's come to a point now where it's like, well, you know what? This door, I'm knocking on this door and God is not letting me go back. So I'm just going to have to make the most of it here and continue to move forward and to shine with God's light and God's love, and to continue to glow when I come back from the church. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes. And I've just reached a point where it's like, oh, this world is divided now, because you've got the North and the West on one side, and you've got Russia and the BRICS nations on the other side. So they're working towards different aims and different goals, and I live here. So all I can do is support on things that are going to bring life and bring happiness to people. And the reality is that injustice never ends. Whether they're putting AIDS-infected diseases into people through the blood transfusions, or they inventing vaccines and then they're finding out that, oh, this vaccine can actually cause AIDS. They did it when they were looking at those COVID vaccines. Some of those vaccines actually cause AIDS. It doesn't stop. So yeah, you have to figure out your calling and what brings you to life and what lights up your life. And for me, it was my music and Africa. So I still have my music, but I'm not that much involved in the Africa initiatives anymore. So, because if the black leaders don't want you, they don't want you. You have to move on and find something else to do. And even here in Canada, it's not like how we grew up in Zimbabwe. There's a big thing about, oh, this is for the black community, this is for the Christian community. There's a big divide between communities. So I'm looking for my next opportunity, and I'm doing this, John Maxwell, to help others to think about what is your calling, what is your passion. For me, it's my music. It's always been my music. But in that music, the industry is small and it's very difficult to get into anything with music. So I just sing in the church. I don't put too much pressure on myself, and I continue to use the other skills and the other talents that God has given me in wherever I can get the opportunities to earn a living. And that's what it comes down to. Because at some point, as you get older, you change about, okay, is this door I'm banging on, is it ever going to open? And if it's not going to open, then you look for something else. And so that's what I'm doing. I've reached the fork in the road, and I'm looking for something else, continuing with my John Maxwell, continuing with my music, continuing with my prayer. And those are the things that I'm passionate about. Those are the things that make me come alive. And that's what I enjoy.